Hello students, I am Vandana Gaur from GL Bajaj Institute of Management and Research, Greater Noida, working in the capacity of assistant professor. So, in the previous lecture, we have gone through the introduction of personality, that what do we understand by personality and what are the major determinant factors which determine the personality of an individual. There are various traits of an individual which basically help in identifying the personality of an individual. Now, moving forward in that topic, today we will have a session on main type of models, personality models basically, which help us to identify that like why a personality of an individual is like this, like what are the factors which form a part of an individual personality, why do people behave in a different manner, or what are the major personality traits which form the part of an individual's personality. So, in that the first model which we will discuss today is the Big Five personality model. Why do we say it as a Big Five personality model? Because this personality model, it basically represents a cluster of personality traits which are organized into 5 dimensions. Like the researchers, they have studied a lot of personality traits, a number of personality traits, and after studying all those personality traits, these personality traits have been merged or identified into 5 dimensions. Big Five model states that every individual has specific personality traits, and these are the traits basically which drive that individual's personality, and because of which that individual represents a cluster of thoughts, feelings and behavior, and they help in identifying, understanding and differentiating between the individual's personality. So, let us understand that what are these 5 models, and these 5 characteristics or these 5 personality dimensions, and these are the dimensions basically which tells that why there is a variation between the behaviors and the personality of an individual. So, these 5 are extraversion, agreeableness, conscientiousness, neuroticism and openness to experience. Now, this is also known as the ocean model. So, let us start with the first dimension, that is extraversion. Sometimes it is also known as extroversion also. Now, we are all aware about 2 personality types, that mainly there are introverts and the extroverts. So, extraversion is a person who is an extrovert. Extraversion is defined as an individual whose personality is or representing a social part of himself or herself. A person who is extrovert, he is more sociable, more gregarious and assertive. Individuals who possess an extrovert personality, they like talking to peoples. They like going to social gatherings. They are the life of the parties. In short, these extroverts people, they get their energy from the people, from the gatherings, from the interaction, social interaction. And since these extroverts people, they are more into the people, so they like doing challenging assignments. They like doing the new things because they want to explore the new opportunities as compared to the introverts or introversion people. Introversion people, they are more into themselves. They are more into their thoughts. They are more into their feelings. They don't like talking much to other peoples. They don't like going to the gatherings. So, the first of the dimension which has been identified in the Big Five model is extraversion. Every individual, as we have already said, that every individual has a different personality trait. Some individuals, they will be highly extroverts, some they will be highly introverts, some will be low on the extraversion, some will be low on the high on the introversion. So, extraversion is the first personality dimension which plays an important role in shaping the personality of an individual as per the Big Five personality model. Second comes agreeableness. Now, agreeableness is what? Agreeing to others. So, an individual who is quite good natured, who is cooperating, who is trusting, who likes helping people others, has a kind of personality called agreeableness. Now, the people who are high on dimension on agreeableness in an organization, these people, they work in team. The other people, their colleagues, they can depend on this particular individual who is high on agreeableness, because sometimes they even go out of the way to help their colleagues. In an organization, it is very important that if a cooperative environment or a coordinated environment is required, then the individual who is having this personality dimension, that is agreeableness, then they can contribute high on this particular aspect. Third is conscientiousness. Now, who are conscientiousness people? Like people who are having more of this personality dimension. Now, what is this dimension? This dimension explains that an individual who is very much responsible, dependable, persistent and organized. Like the people who are having this kind of personality, that is conscientiousness, they are very much focused on their work, because they like keeping work on place. They are very well organized. They don't like distractions. They like doing work on time. They like everything be on place. So, the individuals high on this personality dimension are focused, organized and very much reliable. Like the leaders or the bosses, they can always rely on these kind of persons who are high on this personality dimension. Whereas, the people who are low on this dimension, that is low conscientiousness, they are easily distracted, disorganized and unreliable. So, like in an organization, three dimensions we have discussed. In an organization, it is like every kind of people are required which are of different personality trait, because some people are good at some level, some people are good at some level. It depends on the kind of work or the nature of work which has to be done by these individuals. So, the people who are highly conscientious in nature, these people are good at work where a same pattern of work is required and where the work is required to be done on time. So, there these people are quite successful. Next personality dimension is neuroticism. Now, what is this? It is also known as emotional stability. Emotional stability means what? Like people who are who have the emotions. Every individual has an emotion, but some individuals, they are not very much stable while expressing their emotions. An individual who is high on emotional stability, that means if any event occurs in the external environment of an individual and that individual reacts very fast, like they cannot handle those changes. So, that means those people are low on emotional stability, low neuroticism. and those who are high on this aspect, that is high neuroticism, then these people, they can represent themselves in a much more stable way as compared to the individuals who are not who are easily affected by the emotions. So, this is a personality dimension which taps a person's ability to withstand the situations, to withstand the stress, because in an organization, whenever any individual works, he or she has to face certain kind of situation. A sort of stress is always there. How to deal with that stress? Can everyone deal with this stress? No, it is not possible, because every individual is having a different personality trait. So, the individuals who have a feeling of insecurity, who are anxious, who are self-conscious, who are depressed, who are temperamental, these people, they are low neuroticism people. If an individual is easily affected by the environment, if an individual is easily affected by the situations which is prevailing around him, then he cannot work in an organization in a much more efficient way. So, the people with low neuroticism are poised, secure, positive and calm. That is, they represent themselves in a much better way as compared to the people who are on the verge of high neuroticism. So, in an organization, to work in a corporate world, to work in an environment where there is high stress, high competitive world, it is very important that the people, they should be stable on the emotions part. That means they have a low emotion stability. They should be able to represent themselves, they should be able to hide their emotions and focus on their work. So, the last personality dimension under the Big 5 model is openness to experience. Now, openness to experience is what? We are not saying only openness, because if we say only openness, then it will have a different meaning. Under the Big 5 personality model, this dimension is openness to an experience, to new things, to experience new things, to take the challenging assignments. So, an individual who is on this part of personality dimension, that is high on the openness to experience, that is who wants to experience new things, who is curious to take new tasks, who want to do innovative things, more of creativity. These people, they are high on this personality dimension. The people who are on this dimension, they tend to be more resistant to change, less open to new ideas and more conventional and fixed in their ways if they are low on this dimension. That means I am not open to any kind of experience. I do not want to experience new thing. I want to do only those things which are already pre-decided, which are already there in the structured way. So, that means this personality dimension or this particular individual is low on openness to experience. I do not want to experience new things. We do not want to experiment new things. Let things go in a way how it is. So, the people who are high on this dimension, these people are more on the skills like entrepreneurs have, who want to take risk, who want to experience new things, who like to take failures, who like to take success. So, these are the 5 dimensions of the Big 5 personality model. How this Big 5 personality model works, or how this Big 5 personality model contributes in identifying the personality of the individuals, and what effect does these personality traits on the performance of the individuals. These 5 personality traits, they form the part of the personality of an individual in some or the other way. Some are highly extrovert, some are highly introvert, some are more open to experience, some are less open to experience. So, this big 5 personality models, it helps in identifying the management to allocate the duties to the individuals according to their personality trait. It also helps in analyzing how the individual will perform in what kind of task. So, this is the big 5 personality model, which is an important model when we consider the personality types. The second model under this is the MBTI model, that is Myers-Briggs type indicator. Now, what is this MBTI model? This is again an important model in the personality in organizational behavior. This MBTI model, it is basically a type of personality test which basically included 100 questions, and based on that personality test, it is identified that it helps in analyzing that which individual contains what type of personality trait. So, it is a personality test which basically taps 4 characteristics and classifies people into 1 to 16 personality types. Now, what are those personality types, that we will understand further. It is an instrument designed to measure the elements of Jungian personality. So, there was a theory which is given by Carl Jung. Carl Jung, he said that personality the personality traits are mainly regarding the preferences regarding perceiving and judging the information. Now, based on that, he classified main 4 traits. This MBTI is one of the most widely used personality tests, where like if it is tried to make an attempt that counsel the students with respect to their career or in their work settings, if identification has to be done with respect to their personality traits, then this is the most widely used instrument where the management, they try to identify the personality of an individual. Now, what are those traits? Those traits are, now when we say 4, then the first one is extrovert or introvert. Extrovert versus introvert, or you can say extrovert versus introvert, and it has been identified as E, capital E. Then we have, or if we are saying introvert, then it is identified as I. So, if for extrovert it is E, and for introvert it is I, E or I, E versus I. Then sensing or intuitive. Now, when we say sensing or intuitive, then it is S or N. Now, it is very important why I am saying, why I am denoting the words as E or I, S or N. This is because from these 4 types, 16 personality types have been identified, and these 16 personality types are denoted with these initials only. So, sensing or intuitive, S or N. Then we have thinking or feeling, T or F, and last is judging or perceiving, that is J or P. So, we will understand this model now. Now, as we can see over here, extraversion versus introversion, E versus I. Now, as we have already discussed, who are extroverts people? Extroverts are those who are quite talkative, focused, assertive, who like talking to people, who like going to gatherings, while introvert people are those people who are quiet, who are focused internally, who are abstract, that is, they do not represent much of themselves. So, E versus I. So, under this model, this MBTI model, which is based on the Carl Jung theory of personality, he has said that E or I is basically depend on the individual perception of regarding that from where that individual gets the energy. What is the source of energy? If we say extrovert or extraversion, these people, they get the energy from the outer world, from the outer people, whereas the introverts, they get the energy from within themselves. Extroverts, if somebody like when they go to some kind of gatherings, when they interact with new people, they compliment them, they get the energy from them. Introverts, they get the energy from their inner thoughts, inner feelings, their inner storming. So, that is the first aspect of the MBTI model, that is extraversion versus introversion. Second is sensing or intuitive. Now, sensing or intuitive, it is decided on the basis of perceiving information. Perceiving information means what? How do an individual take on the information? What is the tendency of an individual to take on the information, perceive the information? Now, for that, there can be two types or two ways, either sense through sensing or through judging. Now, when we say sensing, what does sensing means? Sensing is which is based on some concrete things, some realistic things, some practical things based on some logic, for which the individual can reason, whereas intuitive is depending on perceiving the information mainly based on the assumptions. Imaginative, future focused and abstract. The individuals who are more on the intuitive side, that is, who perceive the information based on their intuitions, they are more into the imaginative world, they are more into the dreamy world. So, this kind of aspect is mainly based on how these individuals, they perceive the information. The third is thinking or feeling, that is T or F, and on what basis it is decided? Making decisions. How an individual takes the decision. What is the tendency of the individual when it comes with respect to the decisions? Whether the individual takes the decision through thinking or through the feeling. Now, when we say thinking, more of thinking, thinking means based on certain facts, based on logics, based on certain objectives, after analyzing whole of the situation, taking into consideration every aspect, and then the decision is taken. So, that is thinking. But if an individual is taking the decision based on his or her feelings, that is F in the MBTI model, then he or she is more empathetic in nature, more caring. That individual is highly emotional. So, when that individual has to take the decision, that decision will be more driven by the feelings rather than the facts and the figures. So, that is the another aspect. Last aspect of the MBTI model is judging or perceiving. Now, judging and perceiving, it is based on orienting to the external world. Now, the people who are more on this particular side, that is judging, they are highly organized, they like orderly things, they work in a structured way, they do not like distractions. Whatever decisions these people take, like the people who are having this personality trait, that is judging, or those who are high on this aspect, that is judging, they like everything to be done in a very orderly way. They like to follow the rules and regulations. They do not like any distractions. Whereas, the people who are more on the perceiving side, they perceive the things what is happening in the external world, their environment, and according to that they change the things. The people who are more on the judging side, they do not want to change anything. They are very much rigid. They are not flexible. Whereas, the people who are more on the perceiving side, they are flexible, adaptable, spontaneous. They change according to the situations. If the things are going in a much more haphazard way, then they change very fast. So, these are the 4 personality traits which have been identified in the MBTI model, and as we have said earlier that based on these 4 personality traits, 16 personality types have been identified, or we can say that the people who are having a combination of these 4 traits, I or N, F or J, T or F. So, based on that, under MBTI model, the 16 personality types have been identified. Now, if we say ISTJ, so ISTJ is the combination of the people who are introverts, sensing, thinking and judging. So, that means an individual who is having this kind of personality type or these traits, who is having a combination of these personality traits, that individual is of the type that doing what should be done, what is required to be done, focused on the work. ISFJ, that means here the thinking is not there, the individual is more on the feeling side, that is taking the decisions based on the emotions. Again, what should be done, but more on the emotion side, whereas in ISTJ it is more on the thinking side. So, likewise there are 16 personality types, INFJ, then INTJ, ISTP, ISFP, INFJ. So, all these 16 personality types, they are a combination of the 4 we have discussed, that is introverts and extroverts, sensing, intuitive, thinking, feeling and judging or perceiving. This MBTI model, it helps in identifying the different type of personality that individual possess in an organization. It helps in identifying, as we have said, that is a personality test. It is a questionnaire which is basically consists of 100 questions. So, with this particular questionnaire, the management, they are able to identify that which individual is having what kind of trait, and according to that it helps the management very much in allocating the work duties to the individuals according to their personality types. So, these were the 2 personality models, main 2 personality models which are highly considered while identifying the individual of the individual's personalities, the employees' personality who are working in the organization, and analyzing their job performance, allocating the duties according to their personality types. So, that is all in this particular session. Thank you, students.